Dark Souls is a big game, and is filled to the brim with unique enemies and loot, and we're gonna find them all, one region at a time. Dark Souls. More specifically, the first one. I've been playing this particular game for 14 years now, and while I consider myself a veteran player, my favorite thing about Dark Souls is that there's always something new to learn, even after a decade of playing it. And for me, the best way to learn something new has always been to create a challenge run around the topic I want to know more about, be that a particular weapon type, magic system, or game mechanic. And one thing that I know very little about in Dark Souls is loot drops. So, with that in mind, I've decided to create a very special challenge run, the Region Lock. But what does that mean? Well, I'm glad you asked. For this particular challenge, I'll be unlocking one region of the game at a time. We'll be starting in the Undead Asylum and pushing our way forward from there. In order to unlock a new region, we must find all of the loot in our current one. This means not only all the items around the map, but also all the items NPCs in the area have on them, as well as all the possible loot drops from enemies. So, we'll be picking things up like this dungeon cell key, like normal, but we'll also be farming every single enemy in the game until we get all of their loot as well. And yes, that's gonna be as bad as it sounds. Worse even. But there are a few caveats we need to discuss before moving forward. While we are required to get all of the items from NPCs and enemies, any enemies that don't respawn, like bosses, will not be farmed for their loot table. This is mostly to avoid the scenario where I have to save state a boss and fight them hundreds of times to get their 1% drops, and also because all of these rare boss weapon drops can be purchased later in the game, so we'll still be grabbing them, just later. That said, if a boss has a guaranteed drop, like a tailcut weapon, then we're required to grab that before defeating them. And the last rule of the run, we need to have the stats to use every single item we unlock. So for example, if I were to unlock a short sword, I would need to have 8 strength and 10 dexterity before being able to leave the region. If any of this sounds familiar, that's probably because you're like me and listen to old school RuneScape content on repeat while you do chores. Chunk men or region locked content has been a thing for years in RuneScape, and after listening to creators like Settled and Josh's and Gaming do ridiculous thousands upon 1,000-hour grinds, I thought, hey, I could do that. And so here we are. And with the rules vaguely established, we can start the run.
Speaking of rules, did you know it's hard to code?
Yes. I mean, I've messed around with making a wiki before, so I did a little coding, but I don't...
Well, good news! You can master the rules of coding with today's sponsor, boot.dev.
I was kind of in the middle of explaining...
See that? I learned how to hack your soul today. Learning how to code can be a daunting task, but boot.dev is here to help. You can learn back-end web development from start to finish in all sorts of languages, like Python, Go, and Java to name a few. And unlike other reference materials, boot.dev makes learning fun by gamifying the hell out of it. As you learn to code, you'll gain XP for finishing lessons, unlock loot and achievements for things like keeping your code clean and avoiding errors, and can even join the community for learning assistance or bi-monthly boss battles. And for those of you who are competitive, there's even a leaderboard to help you keep track of your progress. I'll be the top 100 in no time, just you wait. What's more, the lessons themselves are actually fun to learn, with hands-on learning for each section, because if you're going to work with code, you need to start writing it and building real projects. Unsure if boot.dev fits your learning style? No problem. It's free to create an account and demo the interactive features of the courses, and they even offer a 30-day no questions asked refund policy as well. And if you're still unsure, all the course content is free to read and watch, so you don't have to pay a dime if you just need another source material during your learning adventure. That said, I do really enjoy the interactive coding element. It's just nice to know that I'm doing things right as I go. Ooh, new achievement. Take that, 47.65% of everyone else. So if you're interested in learning how to code and need a little push, you can give boot.dev a try today. Use my link in the description below and try out the courses for free, or use my code THEBACKLOGS to get 25% off your entire first year if you choose the annual plan. Now, if you'll excuse me, I need to learn how to unhack Lemon. Haven't gotten that far yet.
Meet Region Locked, the female warrior, or Relo for short.
Hey!
It may not seem like it, but we have to make several very important decisions here. The first and most important thing is that we have to choose the warrior. Why? Simple. You can't level up at the Undead Asylum. which means we need to have all the necessary stats for every drop we're about to farm from the word go. I won't go into detail just yet, but I'll tell you right now that we need a minimum of 11 strength and 12 dexterity in order to avoid failing the run outright, which means the knight, the wanderer, the thief, the bandit, the sorcerer, the pyromancer, the cleric, and the deprived are all out. The only viable classes we can choose are the warrior and the hunter, and since I like armor and longswords, warrior it is. As for our starting gift, we've got a few options. We could take the master key, which would give us more region options later in the run, but it would cost us hours upon hours of time to pick it. More on that in a minute. We could also choose black firebombs and kill the asylum demon early, unlocking the demon's great hammer. Except we can't do that, because if we do, the run fails instantly, since I can't level up and I can't get the 46 strength needed to wield it. No, the only correct answer is actually the Twin Humanities, a gift I can say with certainty that I have never once taken in all of my years of playing. And the reason we take the Humanities is very simple. Popping Humanities increases your item discovery, and item discovery is our new god for the next few months. For those who aren't aware, item discovery in Dark Souls 1 is a bit different than the modern iterations. There's no luck stat that we can pour into. The only way to increase our item discovery is through 2 pieces of equipment and through soft humanity. The equipment in question is the covetous gold serpent ring, which is hidden in Sen's Fortress, and the symbol of avarice, which can be farmed off of mimics, which ironically are also found in Sen's Fortress. As for soft humanity, that's this number in the top left here. Each soft humanity you add to the counter will increase your item discovery to a maximum of 10, and by popping those twin humanity, we're already at 2. So yeah, twin humanity over the master key is definitely the way to go, at least if you want to keep your sanity just a little longer. And so, with our class and gift chosen, it's time to get to work. We've got several items to collect, so let's break out the checklist. We've already got the dungeon cell key, so no problems there, and we've just found our starting shield as well, which for us is the heater shield. A little stagger walking later, and we've got our starter weapon, the longsword. Our boy Oscar here has the Estus flask and the Undead Asylum Floor 2 East key, so we'll be taking those from his cold dead hands, and that's all we can get until we kill the Asylum Demon, so we better get to work on that. Easy game for babies, not even worth showing that boss fight. But with the Asylum Demon dead, we now have 2 more items, the big Pilgrim's Key and a Humanity. For obvious reasons, we popped that Humanity immediately, giving us yet another item discovery boost, and once you walk through the doors of the Asylum, there's one more item hidden behind some crumbling stonework, a Soul of the Lost Undead. No, I didn't forget about that item and invalidate my whole run, why would you say such a thing? And so begins the long and horrible grind that is the rest of the Asylum. There's several enemies in this area. We've got the Hollows, which come in both sword and bow variety, and the Undead Soldier, in its sword form. 3 enemies. How bad can that be? I mean, it's not like we're trying to get the Channeler's Trident or Baldur Side Sword, right? Guys? Guys? Well, while I begin the long, tedious grind ahead, let's talk about loot drops in Dark Souls 1. I'm gonna guess that we all know the pain that is grinding for Covenant items in the Dark Souls series, right? Well, do me a favor. I want you to imagine that pain, and then multiply it by 3. Excruciating, right? Well, now I want you to realize that pain is the pain of getting a short bow drop from the Hollow Bowman. And that's not a metaphor, that's the math. For reasons I will never understand, FromSoft decided that enemy drop tables should almost never consist of a drop rate higher than 2%. Our friend the Hollow, 2% drop chance to drop that short bow. For comparison, that's 1% better than the Channeler's Trident drop. The short bow! Why would you? But now the fun part. Each run through the Asylum takes about 1 minute to complete. In that minute, I have 1 chance to get the short bow, since there's only 1 Hollow Bowman. And with a 2% drop rate, that means we should expect to get a short bow once every 50 runs we do. Or put another way, 1 short bow every 50 minutes. And that's just the average. We might get lucky and get it early, or we might go completely dry and not get it for hours on end. That's foreshadowing, by the way. And that's just the Hollow Bowman. We've got 2 other enemies to grind out as well. Thankfully, the Hollow Swordman is a bit better. Dropping the Broken Straight Sword, the Swordman also has a 2% chance to drop it, but unlike his bow-wielding brother, we have 3 chances for it to drop instead of just 1 per run. So that means a 6% chance per run, or 1 drop every 16.6 minutes, right? No. That's too low. Now, I am not a smart man, so if there are any mathematicians in the audience, please forgive my simplification of the current situation, but it's very important to note that we aren't just adding the drop chances together. Every time I kill an enemy, we roll a die, and we either get the 2% chance, or we don't. We get to roll that die more often when there's multiple enemies that can drop the item we need, but it doesn't actually improve our chances. It just speeds up the rolls. Oh, and a word to the wise. Don't use the dark sign to warp back to your bonfire. It may save you several seconds when it comes to the run back, but it costs you all of your souls, and more importantly, your soft humanities. Definitely learned that one the hard way and had to restart the run. And so, with our item discovery already improved to its current maximum, all we can do is pray. Oop. Short bow! And sometimes that praying pays off. Short bow gotten in roughly 6 minutes of grinding. Way quicker than the average. And with that, that's the Hollow Archer complete. 2 more enemies to go. Maybe this won't be so bad. 2 runs later. Oh hey, there's the Broken Straight Sword. We're done with the hollows. Now we're talking. Okay, this is picking up, it's picking up. Well, all right. That's the Hollow Swordsman complete as well. Only 1 more enemy to go, the Undead Soldier. Okay, hold on, what the hell is happening? So here's the thing, that was incredibly lucky. To get those drops this early and in the same run was highly unlikely. We currently have an item discovery of 165. The maximum you can have at any given point is 410. What does that mean? It means that every time I roll to get a drop, that roll is multiplied by, currently, 1.65. So those weapons we just got, all of them were a 2% drop chance. Multiply that by 1.65, and the chance of us getting those drops was actually 3.3%, which doesn't sound like much. But please understand, we are dealing with numbers so low that increasing them by anything is an astronomical difference. To illustrate this point, let's talk about our final target. Unlike the previous Hollows, the Undead Soldier has several drops. He can drop the Longsword, as we've seen, the Hollow Soldier's Shield, the Hollow Soldier Armor Set, and a Titanite Shard. The sword was a 2% chance, the Titanite Shard is a 1.6% chance, and the shield and armor pieces are 1% chances each. By increasing our item discovery to 165, we changed the likelihood of that longsword drop from a 1 in 50 chance to roughly a 1 in 33. Barely more than a 1% increase in drop chance, and yet we've shaved off 17 minutes of attempts on average. That's huge. Which is great, because our boy here has a lot of 1% drop chances in his loot table. And changing a 1% chance to a 1.65% chance is the equivalent of going from 1 in 100 to 1 in 60. Now we just need to collect them all. I'm like 50% sure he drops a shield. Okay, 100% sure he drops a shield. So we got that. And another 20 minutes later, there's the Hollow Soldier armor, and there's the Hollow Soldier waistcloth. And a single run later, we've also gotten our hands on the Titanite Shard. Good stuff. Now the only thing left is the helmet. Considering it's got the same drop chance as the rest of the armor set, how long could that take? Answer, 2.5 hours! I shit you not, the Hollow Soldier helm took so long to drop that I went through all 5 stages of grief. And rightly so, because if you look on the wikis, plural, neither of them say that the helmet can drop. The Wikidot only mentions Undead Soldiers and Undead Berg, while Fextra Life outright states that it only drops on the return trip to the Asylum, not the initial escape. And don't get me started on the fandom wiki. They were so confused they outright gave up and deleted their entire armor section. Oh wait, no, here it is. Wait, the fandom is the only one that got it right? What the fuck? Things got so bad that chat started getting conspiratorial about it. They questioned whether the helmet existed, if I was okay, and started doing math that even I could tell was wrong. It's basically 50-50, you get something you don't know, it's 1 in 100. No, that's not, again, no. That's not math, that's not how this works. Come on, chat. You guys are supposed to be my honor students, what's going on over there? But then, 26,468 souls later, it happened. Hey! There it is. You want proof? There's your proof. We did it. We can fucking leave. We can leave. I can leave. Get me the fuck out of here. For those wondering, getting that helmet took approximately 150 runs, give or take a few, which means we went 50 runs dry. That's super unfortunate. Hopefully something like this never happens again. That's foreshadowing, by the way! But with my escape from the asylum truly complete, we arrive at our next destination, Firelink Shrine. Thank God, something new to look at. Fun fact, during that grind, my longsword durability went from 200 to 91, and I collected a grand total of 3 longswords, 7 broken straight swords, 6 short bows, 4 hollow soldier shields, 3 hollow soldier armor, 2 hollow soldier waistcoats, 1 titanite shard, and a single hollow soldier helm. Man, I wish I had a bottomless box. That was a thing. But with the knowledge that that was the lowest our item discovery will ever be for the rest of the run, things can only get better from here. Also, a quick shout out to chat for keeping me sane during that grind. I'm actually doing this entire challenge run live on the second channel, Shortcut Unlocked. So if you want to swing by and witness the madness firsthand, come on over and chat for a bit. Oh, and bring snacks. Ah, man, I can't wait to... Wait, this isn't part of Firelink Shrine, is it? Oh, fuck.